Lady of the faucets, let's get it.
It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the truck. In the loops, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. With a drip and pause. Got these dogs and pigs in front of me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the Richard Hearts, I think I need more. Group got me in the wave, now I'm swimming the shore. Now I'm up to the core. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches.
All right. Yeah, dog. Welcome to Thomas. Welcome to Thomas C. Welcome to Wreck to Riches, R2R live stream number 62. Happy Monday to everybody out there in the crypto space. Welcome, welcome. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It is. It is. We've been going through so much in crypto during this, probably one of the worst bear markets I've been through. I got to say, it just felt longer, felt worse, felt more disappointing, depressing. Like you saw what was going on out there, especially if you were an investor with the Pulsechain sacrifice, right? Those sacrifices happened, I can now say, many moons ago, many years ago, and been sitting underwater, still under sac prices, but people are very optimistic that the sacrifice prices of Pulsechain are on their way back. And then what happens when we go from there, we'll see. But let's cover the basics. All right. Why are we in this situation here? Well, first of all, I'm looking at Ethereum, but we know the alpha male, the main event, the showstopper, everything rides the coattails of good old Bitcoin, right? And I just got to remind myself, looking at this number here, $84,750. I'm just sitting back and enjoying it, because I just remember buying my very first Bitcoin at $250 and thinking, like, imagining numbers like this. It took a long time, from that time. I think it was like 2015, 2016 when I was getting these prices. I can't remember. So it's been a while. So it might be another 5-10 years where we see, my first vision. Like, I dreamt of $1 million Bitcoin. I understood the scarcity and what was happening with inflation out there in the world with their currencies. That dream could be possible. So just like soaking it all in, right? I'm soaking it all in because I know it feels like we're on the verge of a parabolic bull run. Every bull run has been like life-changing. This one is going to really hammer home with my positions, especially with Pulsechain. Bitcoin looks like it's going to go to 90K soon here. But before we get into Pulsechain, we'll look at the price of Ethereum, because again, Ethereum right now matters to us mostly, and it going parabolic for the simple fact that we know if you're like in the TitanX ecosystem, we're leveraged to Ethereum. So the success of Ethereum doing good is important. We know as Pulsechain investors, seeing Richard Hearts buy all that Ethereum at $3,700, that going above $3,700 is crucial to reach those sac prices. Like the hype and the FOMO and money coming in at a profit from the sacrifice funds, the court case going on, so much happening all at once. I can see the Hexicans out there are excited, and the energy is changing, the sentiment's changing. Now it comes to a time where it's like, you guys are gonna collectively accept builders, right? People that want to build without, name calling and be more, operate like a blockchain should. Everyone's welcome. We'll vet you, audits, all the different things, but be more accepting overall. Ethereum, $3,298, $112 in the green. Is there anything that can spoil this? We'll cover that in a second. Let's look into, well, the name of the site is look into rh.com. So this is the position that I stare at every day, and I'm getting more excited to look at it right now, because this is the entry that Richard Hart took 171,000 plus Ethereum, and an average price point with the sacrifice funds purchased Ethereum at about $3,773. He's been in the hole like hundreds of millions of dollars for a while. Now, the sacrifice investment that took place, that was an entry of 645,592,000, is only a minus 12.48% in the red. All right. That's only 80 and a half million dollars. And when things really start to kick off, meaning Bitcoin has its parabolic run, a pullback, so altcoins can, start to pump to all new time highs, after a very solid Bitcoin dominance. Ethereum should do beautiful things. And once we see this in the green, I can't imagine what the prices across the board could start to do before, Sack Daddy does anything with those funds, right? We're looking here at goldpost.com, and everything's 60% in the green for Hex. These are all recovered prices that are recovering as far as PulseX, and Inc. Richard has ignored Ethereum Hex, eHex, right? Saying the market has chosen P-Hex, right? Pulsechain Hex. And if you want to just focus there, P-Hex is at hit all-time highs, okay? And that's where the main focus is. You said a long time ago, like it's a wrap. It's done. P-Hex it is. The market has chosen. But then you look at P-Die. So many people are excited about P-Die. I sold mine a little too early this morning. I wanted to get a sell off during this big pump, right? And buy back in. I typically trade P-Die to get a bigger position. That's what I do. I've been very good at doing that, except this morning it was like, I think I sold like 60064-ish or something like that. Could have got a better price. Could have, would have, should have. But I know pullbacks would happen. The reason why I think a pullback will happen is because of these stable tokens are meant to peg to each other, like we've seen PUSDC pegged to PDI. PUSDT is far behind right now compared to DAI. So PUSDT is 2 zeros and a 3.8. Up a lot, right? But what you normally see, like in the Atropa ecosystem, is big extractions of value after a pump, and then liquidity gets spread out through the Atropa web of LP pools to others. And it looked like at one point USDT, the Pulse chain copy, was getting close to parity. So I think what will happen on a major pump is PDI will have to dump drastically, and USDT will go up during that time, and they'll get closer and closer and eventually peg. So I love that PDI is going up. We've seen these numbers before, but I think if we want all three of those stables to hit parity and then peg to $1, that's the ultimate goal of these statements are true, right? If these statements are true that we're going to see $1 stable tokens on the free copies, PUSDT can't sit far behind for long. It's got to do something. But what I want to discuss is moving forward. Is there any events that's going to spoil the fun? So I was looking a little bit. It's November 10th. You got the it's November 11th, actually, Monday, November 11th, 2024. And it looks like there is a little bit, I don't know if this is going to be enough Bitcoin to rock the market, but it'd be a very, very smart time to sell when considering that Mt. Gox shuffles 2.4 billion Bitcoin between wallets as Bitcoin hovers near 82K. A new wallet and 200 million to a Mt. Gox wallet. So they're listing the wallets here. You can see a screenshot, right? And basically they're saying transfers usually imply that an exchange is gearing up to sell tokens on the open market. So, you know, with this being said, you can see, you can come, I put the link in the chat if you guys really want. Talks about a trustee transferred 30,000 Bitcoin. Gives these addresses here to that new wallet. And the largest receiver of Bitcoin on Mt. Gox wallet movement last week. So there are some things happening, and good for them. They've had their Bitcoin held for hostage for so long. Being able to sell at levels like this will really make them whole, because they lost their Bitcoin when Bitcoin was worth like way less, and to retrieve it and be able to sell at these prices not only makes you whole, but it puts you in massive profit. It eliminates and erases the whole scandal behind Mt. Gox hack, right? So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have, money to spend. They're going to cash out, but some might want to continue with their crypto journey. I don't think a lot of these people left the space forever. I think they have forgotten about these funds and probably have gotten further and invested into other opportunities. So we're going to see some sell-offs. It's whether, are we going to truck through that? Is it going to make a big difference? That I do not know. And at what point will it take place? They might want to hold off until they feel like the top is in, or they might want to take the money now. You got to put yourself in the shoes of the people that are in that situation to really understand. But let's go and take a look here at the prices. I'll pull myself off so you can see the entire screen of Pulsechain and Hex. So we'll start off with Hex. This bad boy, no token parity. You better get going, Dex Screener. I know that ain't true. Give it a second to load there and see if I might need to refresh the page. And hopefully I'm not having internet connections. You guys can still hear me? We get to the chat. Brett VR, what's going on? An OG in the house. Somebody that during a time when we were buying Bitcoin below 1,000 and Ethereum below $50. I remember you, bro. I'm glad to see you. Hi, all Bitcoin 84K. Yeah. Let's go, Crypto Pride. LFGO, Thomas G. What's going on? What a time to be in crypto, right? I'm glad it's back. Much blessings to you, brother. Glad to have you. Zybar, I think that's James from the TitanX platform, Baby Dragon X. I believe so. I think so. Mr. Rock Jockey, is Trump going to help get RH out of hot water? I don't know what their relationship is. That would be nice, but we still have time to wait. I think it's up to 90 days. This judge has to determine whether there's jurisdiction over Richard Hearts. And the argument was he grew up close to, I think Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania, but he's lived for a long time in the country he's at now, and they have no jurisdiction. But I think the SEC could have a solid argument that I would say a massive amount of the sacrificed individuals were U.S. citizens. And I think the person who complained is a U.S. citizen where this initiated from. So it's really hard to determine that. But look at this, guys. We really talk about a comeback story for PHEX, right? When I started buying the bottom, we were here. And I was waiting for 3 zeros or 2 zeros and a 3, 2. I was like, fine, I'm going to buy it all here. So I think the people that bought Hex at these prices are very, very happy. They would be very happy. Now, if you're scrolling over to, for example, PulseX, and you got into the sacrifice, we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. And we're like 3x away from sacrifice entries for at least PulseX. PulseX took the biggest hit, by the way. Took the biggest hit out of all the tokens, and people are still, waiting for that. So I think that the next thing that's going to happen is Ethereum, is going to pull its weight forward. More money will flow into Pulse Chain, more excitement, get to sacrifice prices, and then where do we go from there? A lot of people are going to be selling at those points, but I think that's where they anticipate that Ethereum will be in profit and Richard will bridge over and start to buy tokens. That seems to be the sentiment and what people are speculating on. So they are like determined to invest, but they're also banking heavy on he's going to come save the day, which may be the case, right? This is my third cycle, getting another bag soon. Yeah, bro, I was there with you. Remember back in the day, Genesis mining. I know you were there below $1,000 Bitcoin, and you still have your channel. Well, I would love to see some content from you. It's been a while. I've got bags all around Pulse Chain. I'm playing a bunch of DeFi there before TitanX. Awesome, man. Yeah, TitanX has a large community from the Pulse Chain community as well. It's interesting to see, because as I'm looking at prices right now, what's going on, this is a really, really big dip in TitanX. Am I seeing this right? Yeah. You look a week ago, and TitanX people were, kind of, I I guess I want to say trolling hexagons. Like, look where you're at, a few weeks back during the time that they've been going up. And then now you see hexagons attacking the TitanX people because all the tokens are going up across the board. Altcoins are starting to spark, Pulse Chain sparking, and TitanX is taking a beat down. That's why I always say zero from a hero overnight in crypto. And I'm in everything, right? I'm not going over there and laughing at people when their tokens down or anything like that. But I will say that there will be a point where everything will be going up at the same time. It just so happens to be like TitanX is going up, Hex is doing bad. Now Hex is doing great. TitanX is doing really bad. And now people are kind of shooting shots at each other. And I understand. I think there's a lot of bitterness still between the communities. A lot's been said, so kind of is what it is. TitanX streamers used to have multiple streams a day. Now nothing. Yeah, I mean, I'm still streaming. I just wanted to do a video a little bit different today about Hex because I'm not going to forget about where I came from. My grassroots are from. One of my biggest accomplishments was with the OG Hex and being in early. So I always got to revisit and talk about the excitement here because I think this community has just gone through so much in this bear market. And those that didn't sacrifice that are, benefiting from buying these bottoms, made a good decision not to sacrifice. Because if I could go back, I would have just waited it out if I knew and spent everything on the bottom. But instead, I had to grind my way to better positions, like investing in PDI early on and PTGC and a lot of things to get ahead. Right? It was a battle. I'm a believer, but not a good look. Fox Boulder, thank you for being in the building. That's the way I never gloat because what goes up must come down. I'm not a chain maxi. I'm a James Gaines maxi. I love it. I'm a money maxi too, James. And we were supposed to do something today. And I know you went to check your calendar and had already been making my thumbnail. So I just slept on it. So I apologize about that. Baby Dragon X, we got to get you on channel here. Like it's gonna happen in the next week at least. Tomorrow I got Steve DeFi from Vault and Viper, so we're gonna fit you in, brother. Don't worry. Had a long night last night. Was at a party with some old friends from a long time ago, and it's interesting how you see people when you're so young, and and you grew up with, from kindergarten to high school, and you go separate ways, and you come back, and everyone's got gray hairs and kids. It's a beautiful thing, right? Um, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at some more prices. PZen. Hey, Jack Levin about to launch X1? I don't know, but listen, if you're a Jack Levin fan, a Zen fan, you got a home here on Pulse Chain as well. Will PZen take off with the market? Everything is about to go crazy. It every bull cycle I've been in, you could throw a bunch of altcoins on a wall, blindfold yourself, throw a dart, whatever it lands on, buy it, and do pretty good. Do pretty good. People are saying RH holds the ETH God Whale wallet. It holds 146,000 ETH and only buys RH tokens. I don't know. I would have to verify which contract or which wallet that is, because there's the God Whale wallet that I know that it has held like Genesis ETH used to participate in Trayvon James DApp back in the day, where you can go in with your hex, and that's why they were like speculating, oh, it's RH because of the amount of ETH it had and how it was like part of the ICO. But I know there's like two wallets, but then people were like, why would RH participate in that? It also participated in a scam back in the day. It was called Hexy, which scammed out. And then it participated in donating a ton of EHEX to the BankX sacrifice or ICO, whatever you want to call it. So it's like, why would this wallet make these really, really dumb decisions? Is RH a degen? But I think there's two different wallets that claim fame to the God Whale wallet. One of them sounds like the one you're saying does participate in some pretty dicey plays. So hey, RH is human. Maybe it is him on both, but I don't know. I don't know. Are you still DCA and EHEX? I feel that's a sleeping giant. Yeah. Whenever I go over and I purchase on pretty much daily, I'm going over with like $1 to $2 grand a day and buying a hex. I'm buying their stable tokens. I always run and buy my EHEX. I think it's going to continue. I mean, it's going up with everything else too. But don't be surprised if you see PHEX go to 35-50 cents. And then you got EHEX revisiting, 12 cents, 10 cents, where it was right before the snapshot. Snapshot happened for Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain launched, and it completely got obliterated, right? Because in bull markets, you can't sit back and say that numbers like that can't happen, because they've happened on such a large scale from the beginning of time since I've been in. That's why I talked about early at the beginning of the video when I was buying $250 Bitcoin with all my paycheck every week. I dreamt it would be $1 million one day, but I really think I would be sitting here and it would be $84,000. Like, did it really happen? Because dreams, until they come true, they're just dreams. I never, really dreamt that I would be sitting with Bitcoin that I bought then and still hadn't sold it. And the same thing with Ethereum at $7. So at 2 zeros and a 2 for EHEX, where we've already seen it at all-time highs of 50 cents plus, we know what it can do. We know what it's capable of doing. The market continues to choose to buy it as well. So I'm not ditching that token. I'm buying it and hoping for parity. Why not, right? Let's see. You still farming BBC? No, you know what? That's one thing I backed out of. I just didn't like the way Hexy Bastard just operates. He had stirred up a bunch of drama and was just like outrage marketing like RH. I was like, oh, okay. outrage marketing, and then the V3 came out, and it was a mess. I don't know, just something about my excitement there died, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Let me revisit the basics, like the basic fundamentals of why I'm here on Pulse Chain, and that's to invest in PulseX, Pulse Chain, Hex, Farm Inc. Right? I don't need to go to another exchange where I can get all that at the home base, and then I'll buy PTGC, which is its own, type of style of DeFi. Really paid off. P9 narrative is heavy. I feel like there was just too much going on with the community there. I still like Solid X though. I still do. BBC is trash. Yeah, you know what? They were supposed to be a launch pad for meme coins. They didn't succeed on that narrative or mission. They never even focused on the fact that the exchange could be used for meme tokens on Ethereum. I don't think they marketed the way that I would have liked them to succeed, but I wish them luck. I don't have nothing against Hexy Bastard. I just had this feeling at the time like I need to get out and separate myself. I was too heavily invested, and it paid off to do that, to be honest. Hex and Pulse, which one should I buy if I'm a beginner with only 10K? I mean, a Pulse Chain, there was a sacrifice for Pulse Chain that happened, a few years back. It's below sacrifice price, so you're actually going to get in lower than the actual price that everyone that's on there operating got in for, and you're going to get a good deal for Hex. I mean, I diversify. I'm not a financial advisor, but I diversify, right? That's what I do. Why not get some both? Hey, Fox Mulder letting you know. Do you trust any limit order contracts on Pulse Chain? If you're able to do it on PulseX, I don't see why not. But if it's on a different exchange and it's not available on PulseX, it probably will be down the road in the near future. We should see a V3 with PulseX. I revoked every exchange I used outside of PulseX, like 9mm and 9-inch exchange. I'm not going to touch them. Hey, PulseX price predictions for this hot cycle. I feel like I tell myself this every single day when I run the numbers on the possibility of the amount of money I can make. And I run this number constantly on a calculator on my phone and on my computer. And I tell myself it's reasonable to feel like PulseX and Pulse Chain at the very least could be a 5x from sacrifice. Measured from the bottom, right? You're measuring things from the bottom. So you go to the chart on both of those tokens and you measure from the bottom what a 50x or 100x would be, and it seems reasonable, right? So you're not going to see ever Richard Hearts say 14,000x and measure it from the sacrifice price. He would say we hit a 14,000x, but measured it from the absolute wick of the bottom measurement. That's how it's done in every crypto. Good morning. Hey, what's going on, Amit? Appreciate you being here. Why TitanX dipping? You think V1 should start buying burn? It's dipping because of the amount of stakes that are unstakeable at this time. Up until the end of the month, November 28th or so would be like the last day of huge stakes. So it's going to have trouble ahead for the next couple of weeks. Unless Jake launches X28 sometimes, or Shogun, which was rumored to be an option to get out of your stakes, and people participate in that, it's going to be a rough ride, but then it's going to be real nice going into December. And do I think V1 should start buying burn? Absolutely not. No, I do not believe so. I don't think it would be smart. Not right now. Not for exit liquidity. That's for total domination. I posted about that yesterday. The grand scheme of things, when you're playing chess, You want to have your queen on the board at the very end. You don't want to have a disadvantage. So I would definitely say no to that. Let's take a look at everything else though. Teddy bear, $507,000 in liquidity. It don't got much for liquidity. Means it can moonshot, right? Big old market cap with a $507,000 of liquidity. That means it can go up, right? It ain't gonna get this crazy LP pool, I don't think. So it's gotta go up quick, go down quick. Bull markets, like the peak of the bull markets, don't last long, like at all. You have to be prepared and ready to go. It's just the name of the game. Liquidity is very thin on Pulse, PulseX, Hex because RH1 wallet owns 95% of the coins. Well, you got to look at the LPs that are thick, like with Hex, has millions of dollars. Like Teddy Bear, super tiny, right? Like if you look at the Hex pair, that's a fat LP, bro. Watch, take a look. People are providing liquidity. They're incentivized to do so through the farms. That's $32.4 million in liquidity here, which is nothing. And this will grow, continue to grow. But when looking at like the altcoins and why they will have good price performance is because of low liquidity. The people that will make the money, they got the big bags that sell when the top is there. And they'll cut the liquidity in half. It's like over and done with pretty quick with altcoins. And I've just see that over and over and over. You know, the real side here is split between 461,000 in value between SolidX and Wrapped Pulse. But SolidX can go back to $100. Make your money. Make your money. PTGC, this is probably the best investment I did in all of Pulsechain. When it started, I dollar cost averaged about 2 billion Pulse, and did that over like a couple weeks time. It's been sitting on it, and it's the ratio I paid. Right, flip it here. The ratio I paid at the very beginning is ridiculous at where I'm at. So when I swap back into Pulse, I'm so up. And I think it's going to continue to outperform Pulse Chain. It has. It probably will continue to do so. This was the best thing I've ever really like for the long term. I'm comfortable holding it. And I don't know. I don't worry about this investment. PG or PTGC, gosh, I always mix that up, doesn't even need human beings trading it. It creates its own volume to continue to just work its magic. Right? Teddy is a junk meme token. Not according to B Roots. He'll tell you otherwise. But yeah, I don't care too much for Teddy Bear. There could be reasons why he likes it. I've heard them all. But PTGC is a beautiful thing. Can X1 outperform Pulse? I have no idea, man. I have no clue. To be honest with you, it's got to come out. We can't even speculate till we don't even know when it's coming out. Teddy is run by scammer B Roots. Make America great again. I don't know who runs that, bro. I really don't. Lotus will be airdropping over 6 million tokens tomorrow. Anyone who buys will rake it huge by end of the month. Or X and Lotus, which one will be crazy? I don't know. Let me take a look at the Lotus price. It's about exactly where I said the other day when I was doing a live stream with Vibra Finance. I was like, I'm a buyer below 3 cents, 3.5 cents. There you have it. And Morpheus, I think their last mint just happened. I believe it did. Now there should be the engagement bonus going to happen here shortly. So let's take a look. Yeah, cycle's done. All done. Now they're going to raffle this engagement bonus. 10 people are going to split the 220 billion TitanX. So that's 22 billion for 10 people each in this raffle, or the tick based off their tickets. I don't know how they're going to do it though. I don't know if they have an oracle of some sort. They're pulling it out of a hat. I have no clue. You know what I'm thinking right now? It's really depressing. Can I be honest with you guys? When you cover Pulse Chain, like, let me go back to Deck Screener. There's only so few projects to cover. Like the TitanX ecosystem, just the build on TitanX has more across the board than just the build on TitanX platforms being built on TitanX and all of Pulse Chain. Like, not kidding. Like, there's stuff built on Pulse Chain, but it's not nowhere as big in volume and excitement. Like, you got your core, teddy bear lovers. You got this MLG token, SolidX, PTGC, their offset of tokens, 9-inch, 9mm. And you got the narratives like the PDIs and all that. Outside of that, there wasn't much built that people are using like crazy every day. That's just the way it's been. Where you go into the TitanX ecosystem, you got all these different tokens. And then all of Ethereum's got all these successful meme tokens. It's just really, really, like, I figured like this many years into the blockchain as far as Pulse, there would be tons of massive successful projects. So we are going into a bull run here on Pulse Chain, where I feel like the blockchain itself, as far as what people were able to build, is very small, which is not a success. There should have been so many thriving projects, but the community is like turned into cannibals. Oh, you made a project, scam. And then there was scams like Post Latina and different projects that failed, high risk, high rewards projects. So, there's builders, but it's not like they're not successful. You don't hear people talking about them excited or anything like that. Right. Even on Binance Smart Chain's coming back too. Binance Smart Chain. What is it again? Let me pull it up. Surge. This is the one here that everyone's excited about. Price got to recover. Then you get more excitement. But a 10-day auction. What is it? Day number 4. I'm not going to be making videos about it. I live streamed during the week, so I made videos during the weekend. So I could live stream about Surge tomorrow at the end of the timer to get some content in. But a lot of excitement. When you got people winning and losing, exciting, mad, angry, happy, but using and talking about your platform, you're doing well. So I just want the best to happen for Pulse Chain across the board. Really do. If it's easier to on-ramp and off-ramp for normies, I think Pulse Chain would have more retail funds. Yeah, he went and is like IPFS, like it's so confusing for people. Like, what is going on here? He wants to teach us like true DeFi, like, don't use the UIs and do it from your desktop and all this. And it's like it's for adoption. It's not good. For being safe, yeah, it's great. But you're not going to get a lot of new people to come in to like that. I'm thinking the PDI collateralization will let RH continue to pump his coins. Yeah, that's always been my thought process. And that's why I said earlier, PDI is taking off, right? Still a little too early. It's okay. I want to get a good trade out of this. I know it's going to pump. It could go 2 zeros and a 7-2. We've been at these prices before, right? It should dump. I'll buy back in, but it's got to dump while USDT pumps. They have to bring these to parity soon. The last time it got close, PDI tanked hard. and then USDT started outperforming it by a little bit. So that's the one that's left behind. That's why I know when I see PDI taking off, I'm like, I'll sell it and get a good trade. Like last night, sold it. I just happened to sell it in between here, and it did a big dump. We'll call it like, I don't know why it dumped. Some user just kept dumping the hell out of it. So I'll sell here. I know they're correct. Things got to even out. Where will they meet? You know, USDT is almost 2 zeros and a 4. Where will they eventually meet? You know, when they start to get close to parity. I'm thinking somewhere in this range. And PDI will work its way down, be here, and then PUSDT will reach a parity around these points here, right? And then we'll see everything move together to new all-time highs and new numbers. But I don't think PUSDT is going to be left behind. I think that by design and what it's been doing, it extracts value. The entire Atropy ecosystem extracts value without even needing us. So unfortunately, you get in and it extracts value from you. But it's all a bonded liquidity system, a web of liquidity plays, right? This here, it extracts the money, reallocates it across the board. You see some things happening in regards to Maker DAO and Curve. It's interesting to see this all play out, right? But I do believe like a big push down and money will move around. It's just been doing it for so long consistently. No one's really pinpoint exactly when and why it does it. It just happens like clockwork. Is Zen buy a good option since X1 is close to memes or a good bet? I don't know, man. If you're excited about X1, you're probably gonna buy Zen. But I don't buy it. I have mints coming out every day on all these chains. Like my mindset's not about excitement there. It's like, oh, when it launches, I'll be ready. Imagine PDI with some sort of staking mechanism so people don't dump. Right. Well, right now you can provide like collateral for sure. Or not collateral. You could provide LP. LP. Oh, it's Veterans Day. That's why the kids are not at school. Man, I'm losing track of time. Happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. We love and appreciate you. Will you auction your TitanX stakes into Shogun? Months ago, you wanted your stakes out. Any plan change? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Your prediction for TitanX this cycle about 0.0008 USD. What about DragonX? DragonX is probably going to have a really, really big difference in ratio. Like I think it'll be 1 to 50, if not bigger. Right? Let's look at the ratio right now for DragonX. Yikes! Look at these prices, guys. Yikes! Still at 1 to 14 ratio. It's crazy. I think it'll be like 1 to 50. I saw Eric say 1 to 88. That would be crazy too. It'll continue to outperform. It has way less tokens. Go do the math. Go do the math. The math is easy. Look at this. Pull this up here. Go to the stats page. Look here. 5.1 trillion tokens versus TitanX. This is why it outperforms it, right? Go to the TitanX stats page. 52 trillion, right? So TitanX got 10 times more tokens than DragonX. So it could outperform it by many, many moons, many, many X's fairly easily. And that's what we've seen happen in real time. That's all that we've seen happen. Let me take a look. Who else got questions? Yeah, kids are home from school today. That means it's a short stream. 45 minutes is a good stream, right? But I think like to end it, where I'm gonna keep my eye on is the price. Look at that. We just have a nice little correction on Ethereum. We just have a pullback. Bing. Uh-oh. Let me go look at Bitcoin real quick. Are people selling that Mt. Gox? Are they selling those Mt. Gox tokens? Oh, look at that. Not too big of a dump, but it's still up because it went up 4,000, right? Maybe if I change it to like the 1 day, you'll take a look. So I went up here. I don't know what to think. I don't know. Like I said, I shared that article earlier. Is there any surprises in the works? I think I could take you down the rabbit hole if you guys want to go down the rabbit hole with me. I don't know if I want to do that to you. I don't know if I want to do that to you. There's a lot of speculation what's going on with U.S. politics. One of the rumors that I don't think is so much as a rumor is because you heard one of the guys on CNN mention it. Is the Democrats are talking about, I don't know how this would affect the price of things, but they're talking about Joe Biden should resign so they can install Kamala Harris as president now, right? So she'd be president for like the next 60 days. And how would the markets react to that installment? Because one of her representatives that was representing her when it comes to the world of politics just said that on CNN. So you know he's not the only one saying that. On top of that, they're talking about this recount. How true is the recount? If they initiate a recount or even attempt, because some states are still finishing. So if let's say they get the process going for a recount for whatever reason, how the markets react to that. Are these things true? I don't know. I'm thinking about, like, I didn't want to take you guys down this road, right? And yes, somebody just put Trump's not president until January 20th. Exactly. So the Democrats, if they install Kamala and they've already made Joe Biden step down as the presidential elect candidate. You know, he was already going to run because he was the standing president. They made him step down and brought her. She loses. Now there's somebody on TV. One of the Dems said he needs to resign, install her. She would probably do a bunch of things in the next 60 days to make Trump's first, first year really hard, to give him obstacles to deal with. And then that recount rumor. Now we get if that rumor about the recount and how they're just waiting for a few states that are still counting votes to finish. They're waiting for every single vote to come in, and they ask for a recount. They might get it, even though it was a landslide. Or if they even mention it, it starts to become a headline news. I don't know what that's going to do on top of Mount Gox. It might spoil the fun for a little bit, but never, ever like discount anything or think like something can't happen, because it could. That's the black swan for December or November. It's on the table. It's definitely on the table. Like, there is a possibility. I'm gonna pull up just to look. I was gonna pull up this. I'm looking at CNN site. This news network is very hateful. I'm closing it. It's not because like I'm like a Trump maxi or anything like that. You just sit on a news article long enough and they start making you hate each other. And it's like, bro, like, I don't want to feel like that. They just want to create propaganda, hatred. Like, I think I don't know. We're in some weird times right now. But don't forget to pound the like button. I'm going to focus on politics and all that because I think that plays a major role. Like I said, going down that rabbit hole. I'm going to pay attention to the RH investment. Pay attention to the price of Ethereum because we're leveraged to Ethereum with that sacrifice funds. Obviously, we need Ethereum to go above $3,700, right, in the near future, which I believe it will go way beyond that. Just can't wait for it to happen. So Don't forget to pound the like button, drop a comment. Thank you all for being here. Until next time, we shall do it again. Yeah, dog.
Lady the Faucet, just get it. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the chart. In the loots, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. With a drip and pause. Got these dogs and pigeons, farm me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the rich and hard, I think I need more. Group got me in the wave, now I'm swimming the shore. I'm up to the core. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches.